Truly, all I want for Christmas is more books. That's all. Hello and welcome back to Aubrey Books and Coffee. Please grab your favorite beverage of choice and join me. Today we're going to play the December's game for our TBR pick, and I'll be putting all the books up there like normal so you'll see it grow into the chaos that it is. But meanwhile, I am excited to also say, in case this is your first time being with me on a December, there's 12 days of Christmas coming, guys. I know. Be looking for that. It may or may not be happening around Christmas Eve. So keep your eyes peeled. And all you have to do to be entered into the 12 days of Christmas is be a subscriber. Now, if you've won a box from me before, don't worry. My normal rule is whenever I do these drawings, you only can win once. However, the one exception is for the Christmas giveaway. Everybody is in there, even if you've won before. So let's see if it's your year to earn one of those boxes of amazing goodies and books and fun things. And this year, a little something something from me will also be in that box. I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's start our game. Hooray! It's December, new TBR game, and yeah, all the good feels. We did change it up a little bit this time. Only going to do a 6-sided die because the end of the year is me trying to wrap up a whole bunch of stuff, and there's just no possible way. I'm hurting myself. So we're going with 6-sided die. I'm sorry. So let's see how many prompts we're going to get. Looks like 2. All right. I can do that. So the first one is a cookie. Ooh. And the cookie says a book of the month pick. All right. So yay for 2 rolls. You'll notice I went smaller dice. I'm sorry. It gets chaotic even with a 6-sided die, as you will see, I'm sure, by the end of this. So for that first pick, though, it was a book of the month pick. I'm glad because then I can make sure I read all of these book of the month books. I chose Naomi Novik's Spinning Silver. This has been out for a while. I've been wanting to read it. Now I have no excuse. While it's not really Christmassy, you can see it's definitely snowy. And I think it just kind of gives that kind of vibes. But it's supposed to follow a character who is the daughter and granddaughter of moneylenders. But unfortunately, her father was kind of lousy at his job. So they're really kind of becoming destitute. She, in the meanwhile, has such a brilliant mind that they kind of jokingly say she can spin silver into gold with the way that she's able to make money. Well, the wrong person hears this and takes it quite literally. So now she's a prisoner and expected to spin silver into gold. All right, for our second roll. Ooh, it's a roll again. A book. Let's see. And the book says an animal on the cover. For our second prompt, we are given an animal on the cover. And while this isn't necessarily themed of holiday or even winter, I do want to read this. And like I said, it's all pretty books that I'm trying to get through, and that's my main focus. So I'm going to be reading a beautiful book to see if it's available for you guys in our drawing. I chose This Dark Descent by Kaylin Jofferson, I believe. You know I'm good at names. If I go close enough, you can see the horse on the cover. And I know I'm not going to pronounce her name right either, but the main character is Mikara Russell. Her family breeds incredible horses. Unfortunately, they're falling on hard times and don't have a lot of money. And so to try to raise enough money so they can keep their ranch, she has to enter this crazy cross-country race on horseback. So I'm excited to see how that's going to go. I love me a good trial and a good race, and we'll see. Now we're going to do our apothecary jar, which again always has a bunch of books in there. Here's hoping it fits our theme, because it doesn't always. And it looks like it is not going to focus. Looks like Yellow Wife by Sadika Johnson, I believe. Okay. Now, the apothecary jar doesn't always obey what I'm trying to do with the theme. So while it won't be a book I own and can give to you, and it's not necessarily winter, it did go ahead and pick out of the jar Yellow Wife by Sadika Johnson. I apologize if I said the name wrong. Basically, this follows an enslaved woman who is in the most infamous slave prison in Virginia and her trying to survive. They said it's very much in the same vein as 12 Days a Slave. And oh my gosh, this is going to be heartbreaking. It's going to be heavy, but the apothecary jar wants me to read it for some reason. And so I'm going to. Okay, and now we're going to do the Advent jar pick. I love it. This time of year, everybody's got their Advent calendars. I have my Advent jar pick. I'm excited. So the first book this month is going to be Unseelie by Ivelisse Hausman. Okay, and then the second one is going to be These Infinite Threads by Tahira Mafi. I'm excited to finally get to read that sequel. Then we had our Advent jar, which I absolutely love this gift to myself. 'Tis the season. So I know Aldi's always has those, wonderful wine or cheese or some of the other Advent calendars. I like this personal Advent calendar. It's a book gift to myself all year round. So for this time, we ended up drawing two good books. Unseelie by Ivelisse Hausman, which follows twin sisters who could not possibly be more different. One is a professional rogue and thief, and the other one a changeling. And this is all about them trying to survive in the world they're in. So I'm excited to read that one. The second one was These Infinite Threads by, I'm going to say it wrong, I'm so sorry, Tahira Mafi, I hope is correct. This is the sequel, of course, to This Woven Kingdom. I'm excited to finally read this. It was one of the top 3 I really desperately wanted that came out this year. So I'm excited for that. Now we get to do the book box jar, which fits perfectly with this month's theme. And again, there's, oh, there we go. I was going to say it's too narrow for me to go digging in there, but one fell out, so it wants to be read. And that one is Shanghai Immortal. Well, all right. And once again, which fits perfectly with our month theme, I wanted to draw from the beautiful books I have on my shelf still to make sure I read yet more and have them ready for you guys for our drawing. And I drew this time Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chao. I apologize. It is a beautiful edition, and hoping it does get to go to you, or selfishly hoping I get to keep it. But essentially, this is following a young girl who was pawned by her mother to the King of Hell when she was a child. She is a half vampire, half fox spirit, which I think sounds really cool. Sassy as can be, she runs errands and stuff for the King of Hell. Basically, there's a plot to steal something worth far more than anything else that he has, and she wants to stop them at all costs. But some of those costs start to mean at the life of a mortal that she is now attracted to. So I think it's just going to be kind of good fun, and I can't wait to read it. Okay, now it's time for the Bookopoly roll. Last time we landed on the color wheel, if you'll remember. And it looks like 5, 3 and a 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Crooked Kingdom, which means I get to read a Leigh Bardugo. Now for Bookopoly, we landed on a Leigh Bardugo spot, which I'm excited about because she has several books still on her backlist that I have actually not read yet. I absolutely fell in love with the Six of Crows duology, and so I've been excited to read other things besides the Hellbent and Ninth House, that we've also enjoyed. And so I'm excited to pick up this month King of Scars, again, by Leigh Bardugo. I know there's several names in here that the story covers that we should know very well, like Nina, of course, Zoya, Nikolai, I mean, several. So it's still in the Grishaverse, and I can't wait to read more. I need more. I need Nina some more. And the number generator wheel got used, which is always fun. And it landed on one that I actually had as a potential for our book club's pick. And so I'm kind of glad they didn't pick this one, because now I get to read it here. And that's A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I am so excited. I got this really pretty edition from Alcrate. I'm excited for it to go to you guys if it's not a 5-star. It follows Effie, who has been plagued by dreams of the Fairy King for as long as she could remember. And she's got a tattered copy of a book that she reads these different fairy tales from. Well, a contest comes up by the author of this book, basically to help redesign his estate. She goes to the estate to try to see what's going on, and she sees somebody's already there. His name is Preston Hillary, I believe. And basically Preston intends on making that prize his. And so they have to decide to fight each other or band together. And I'm betting a romance will happen. And of course, I'm continuing reading the Star Wars books. And so this month we are doing The Battle of Jeddah by George Mann. This will pick up after the first one, so I can't say a whole lot, just we'll say the violence and damage that was done in the first book. It picks up with people doing the aftermath of all of that here, and there's a festival coming. So that's all I know. I try to be as spoiler-free as possible with these, and I'll let you guys know at the end of the month. And then, of course, we're continuing the Robin Hobb read through, and we are now going to be doing City of Dragons. I was wrong. It's not a trilogy. It is 4 books in this series. So this will be the 3rd one, and we won't get everything wrapped up, sadly. But I'm hoping it's a little bit better than the last one. And, of course, we are continuing to try to get these dragons into their forever home. And, of course, we're having problems, I'm sure. I also participate in several book clubs because why not? I think they're fun. I love whenever we can read together and then share things. So my own book club, the ABC Book Club, and you're welcome to join. We're on Discord, which I'll link below. We're also on my Instagram, which again, there's a picture here and I'll link below. Feel free to join us. It's very casual. I break up the chapters by week and you can jump in whenever. For this month, it was voted and decided on Allie Carter's The Blonde Identity, which is perfect also because it is one of those beautiful editions that will be yours. It basically follows a girl who wakes up and sees on the news one day that she apparently, or at least an image of her, is beating up several people that she's never met. She realizes that must be her twin, and her twin is a spy, and people are after her, and she needs to survive. And the only person who believes that she really is just a twin and not the actual spy is a guy that she cannot stand. So I think this is going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun enemy to lover kind of thing, I bet. And I am all here for it. Then I'm also in Kim from Whimsical Narratives Book Club. This month we're doing the fictional read Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas. This follows Anna, and in the world that she lives in, magic is a sin. You don't do it. If you have it, you pretend you don't, like you lock it up. Well, then some things start happening where magic is needed. So now Anna's kind of torn. Does she use it? Does she not? So I think this will be really interesting. And I didn't even know it existed until Kim mentioned it. So I can't wait to read this with her. I'm also in Cassidy's Backlist Book Club. And I'll again have everybody linked below as well. And we're reading The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence. Now, I do like Mark Lawrence. The previous series they did, the trilogy, was Red Sister, Gray Sister, Holy Sister, I believe. I did Red Sister. I gave it a 3-star. It didn't pull me in, so I really didn't want to choose to continue. So for 4 months, I've not actually been doing the books with them. But this is a new series, and I'm kind of intrigued. This is going to follow Yaz, and apparently in this world, the people the town doesn't like or that they think are broken in some way or different, they throw them into this frozen pit and they have to survive. And guess what happens to Yaz? And so it's all about her trying to survive as well. So I am excited to be reading that with the group. I am also in Liv's book club. I'll make sure to have her here. And the book club chose A December to Remember by Jenny Bayliss. This follows 3 half-siblings that fight all the time. They cannot stand each other. And as soon as they were grown, they went their separate ways so they didn't have to put up with each other anymore until the will is read. That's right. Parent died. Now the will's being read. Several of them really need the money to help bail them out of some trouble, so they all show up for the reading of the will. But there's a catch, because isn't there always with these books? And basically they have to jump through several hoops together in order to get this money. And I guess, with it being kind of the holiday season, I think this sounds real sweet. I hope the sisters end up burying the hatchet and not in each other's backs. I'm also attempting to go through the Reddit Fantasy Bingo. It goes, I believe, from April to April, so we're getting towards the end here. I need to hurry up and finish covering up these little squares. For this month, I chose to go with the Mythical Beast prompt, and I chose The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy. Again, a beautiful addition. And this follows a town that used to have a book of fortunes that they could whisper their deepest desire into it, and the book would actually tell them how they could achieve it. Well, one day somebody used it for evil, so the Forest Grimm used their branches to grab it and pull it into the dark forest and curse the town. Well, Clara was raised understanding that this is what went down, and so she wants to reverse it, bring beauty and, fortune back to her village. So she decides she's going to be brave, go into this forest and retrieve this book, and her friend Axel is going to go with her to help her. So I am very excited to see what kind of beast they come across and if they're able to retrieve this book or not. I also want to support indie authors as much as possible, since yours truly is also an indie author. And so I chose for this month to do Along the Razor's Edge by Rob J. Hayes. This is heavily recommended by the BookTube community, especially those group of ladies, Lexi and, Kaylee and Rye and Mel and Cassidy and all of them. Basically, they talk about how this follows Escara. This is a 5-book series. This is the first one. And Escara is thrown into the pit as a prisoner, and nobody has ever escaped the pit. Well, since there's 5 books in this series, I'm assuming Escara is going to find a way to escape, and I can't wait to see what the hype is all about. And then I also promised that whenever I get these awesome little cards and booklets and things from book boxes, they mention books, and I always say, oh, I've never actually read that. So now I'm trying to make sure I read some of these books so when the items come in, I know what they're from. So for this month, I chose Bonesmith by Nikki Paupreti, I believe. I mean, look at that. That is just stunning, you guys. I mean, come on. I don't know a lot. I don't want to know a lot. All I know is she's called a Valkyr, which is basically a ghost assassin. Like, how do you assassinate a ghost? So anyway, I am intrigued, and I can't wait to find out more and let you guys know a little bit more once I've actually read it and how I, enjoyed it. And I always want to continue a series. That's what November's mostly about, but I want to do it all year long, so at least there's another 11 books in series that I'm attempting to wrap up. And so for this, I chose Never a Hero by Vanessa Lynn. This is the sequel to Only a Monster. For those of you who watch me faithfully, and thank you for that, yes, maybe you saw it on a previous TBR, maybe it didn't get finished. So it's on my TBR this month and will get finished. And I spun the TBR spinner, and it landed on a new to me author. So for this one, I chose Garden of the Cursed by Katie Rose Poole. Again, a gorgeous edition. So have to do it. This follows Marlowe, who is known as the best curse breaker. And unfortunately, her mother disappeared years ago. And so all of a sudden, she's in the middle of being really, really good at breaking these curses for other people. An old crush of hers resurfaces. And with him coming back comes some mysteries and clues that might lead to the explanation for why her mother disappeared and where she's been this whole time. And so they have to kind of work together, I guess, to try to figure this out. So I'm excited to see what this is going to be. Now, for this TBR spinner prompt that we do, I'm only going to be doing it for a little while because a little sneak peek here for you guys for watching this far into it. I've been following another booktuber who created a fun looking game. I believe it's called... Oh, now of course I'm going to blank. I'm going to make sure that by the time I'm done here, I'm going to flash it up here in editing and a picture of it and link her below so you can sign up for her newsletter to find out when it's released. But basically, it's supposed to be a game designed to help you read everything that's on your shelf so that you're not just reading recent things, but getting those books off of your shelf. And so I'm excited to have that replace this prompt in the future whenever her game is actually finished from being just a prototype and is for sale. And of course, I like to go over my top 3 that I am super excited about coming out this month. And for the month of December, that is This Cursed Light by Emily Thied. This is the sequel to The Last Fenestra that I gave a 5-star to. I really enjoyed it. I want to know what happens next. I can't say anything else because it would literally give away the ending of the first book. But I am excited to find out what happens. And that's supposed to be on December the 5th. On December 7th, Gold is going to come out. This is by Raven Kennedy, The Plated Prisoner #5. Since I've not read this series yet, I can tell you squat about it. But I am excited that it's coming out because I do have some of them on my shelf. And then on December 26th, we're going to get Ruthless Vows. You guys, this is Rebecca Ross's sequel to Divine Rivals. I cannot wait. This is going to be so good. I cannot wait. I am continuing the Lord of the Rings challenge, so let's hope I can get the last of those miles down. And the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway I told you about earlier is on December the 24th. Be sure to watch that video to see if you're a winner and instructions on what to do. If you've ever won some of these drawings, like every 50 that we do now, you already know what to do. It's the same kind of thing. And we won't talk about the books that maybe didn't get finished in November. So I'm hoping to get to those too. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, send your friends. Have a fabulous holiday season, and I'll see you in January.